Hey everyone, my name is Mitchell, and today I'm going to be explaining the basics and essentials of a clarinet. So in this video, I will be explaining the different parts of a clarinet. I will also be showing you guys how to assemble a clarinet, and I will demonstrate how sound and different pitches are created from a clarinet, and I will also be playing a short passage to you called Amazing Grace on the clarinet. So yeah, let's get started. So now let's understand more about the clarinet. So here I have my clarinet case. And so how do you know if the clarinet case is facing the right way up? So for me, you can see that there is a logo here and we have the logo here which says Yamaha. So now I can easily know whether the clarinet box is facing the right way up because I see my logo is facing the correct way up. So now that I know that my clarinet case is the right way up, I can open it. So now let's open it. And once we open the clarinet box, we can see that there's many different pieces as to how to assemble clarinet. And we also have these little items on the side that are also really important, but we'll talk about more of that later. So let's talk about what each part of the clarinets represent. So right here we have the mouthpiece of the clarinet. And what this is where we blow into the clarinet instrument. Right here we have the barrel, and the barrel is also a very important piece of the clarinet. So we also have this piece called the upper section, and what the upper section is that the upper section is usually on the upper section of the clarinet, and it's usually seen on the top of the clarinet, right? And you can easily see this because it has these kind of 4 buttons right here, and in the back you also see like a thumb note, and this is also called the register key. So now we see another piece, which this is called the lower section. So we have an upper section, now we have a lower section, and the lower section can be easily identified because they have a thumb rest on its behind. And the last piece is what we call the bell of the clarinet. So now let's look on the side of our clarinet case and what important pieces we have lying there. So right here we have what's called cork grease, and cork grease is kind of like a grease that helps assemble the clarinet more efficiently, more smoothly. And please don't mistake this for chapstick because this is not chapstick. Please do not use this on your lips or whatever, because this is not chapstick whatsoever. This is cork grease. And we have what's called the reed, and the reed is a really vital piece to our clarinet because this is actually what's connected to the mouthpiece, and this is actually what helps us play certain sounds, many different pieces, and just how we play our clarinet in general. And there it is. Here are just all the different pieces of the clarinet and what important things lie inside the clarinet box. So now that we understand the different parts of the clarinet, we're going to begin by assembling each different part. So the first part I'm going to take out is the mouthpiece, and I'm going to be removing the protective cover from it because the protective cover is just to prevent the mouthpiece from any further damage or from it getting broken. So once we put that away, we're going to be taking out the barrel. So how are we going to connect these two pieces together? So let's first look at the barrel. And you can see that there is kind of like a skinny hole on the top and there's a wider hole on the bottom. So we're going to connect these pieces because we're going to look at the skinny hole on the top and connect it with the bottom of the mouthpiece. So let's twist that together, and there we have it. Or this kind of weird. Okay, sorry. So now that we have our first two pieces assembled, we're going to take our next piece, which is called the upper section. And with the upper section, you can see that they have a little kind of logo on the top, and it says advantage. So once you're able to read the word and you see the logo, you can easily identify whether this kind of clarinet piece is facing the right way up. So then you can see there's kind of a little space up top, and there's like a small space here. So there should be a small space up top where you can connect the upper section with the barrel. So now let's twist twist it, and there you have it. And try to be as gentle as possible when connecting these pieces together. And here you go. And now let's take out the lower section of the clarinet piece and connect the top of the lower section with the bottom of the upper section. So now let's connect these two pieces. And it should look like this. And you know that you know that the upper section and the lower section is connected the right way when you see kind of a connector between these two, right? It's connecting between these two. So that's how you know it's connected the right way. So now let's take out the last piece of our clarinet, which is called the bell, and put it on the bottom of the lower section of the clarinet. Just twist it, and there you have it. That is our clarinet. But wait. We're not done yet. But we still have our reed inside our clarinet, and the reed is a really important part because it helps create sounds and pitches, right? So then we're gonna take out our reed and be careful because your reed is really fragile. The top right here is really fragile, so you do not want this to break in any sort of way. So we're gonna put it right here, assemble it right here, and make sure that the top of your reed is kind of connected with the top of the mouthpiece, right? It's centered at least. So now we're gonna center it. We're gonna connect these, put this on top, and we're gonna twist it to tighten the reed and the mouthpiece together so it doesn't move at all. Because if it's too loose, the reed can move. And we do not want the reed to move. We want it to be as stable as possible when it's connected to the mouthpiece. So we're gonna tighten this. And your reed should be wet because once you wet your reed, you can create beautiful sounds with the clarinet. But I'm just demonstrating how to assemble clarinet, so the reed is not wet yet. But we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, so there you have it. You have the final assemble of all the clarinets. And make sure that you can see the register key with the thumb hole, and you see it's also centered with the thumb rest on the bottom. And yeah, that is your final symbol of the clarinet. Alright, so now let's talk about how different sounds and pitches are created through a clarinet. So one important thing when it comes to playing a clarinet is having a tight embouchure. So what is an embouchure? So embouchure is basically what's happening in your lip area. So having a tight embouchure means having tight lips on the side. So the side of your lips should be stuck together, and there should be a smooth flow of air going through the middle of your lips. So it should sound like this. Like kind of you're blowing, right? So with that idea in mind, we're gonna take our mouthpiece and the barrel connected together with our reed, and we're gonna have that idea in mind with having a tight embouchure, right? So with that, I'm just gonna put my mouthpiece inside my mouth just a little bit, not too far in, but just enough so I can create a sound. So it should sound like this. It should sound something like that, all right? With what I just said, because it's not really creating like a beautiful sound since I just took it out the barrel and the mouthpiece. Now I'm actually going to put that back inside on top of my upper section of my clarinet. So I'm going to be playing low C for you, right? And that is with these notes, with my thumb rest, thumb hole on the back, my first finger on the first hole, the second on the second hole, and the third one on the third hole. And that is a low C. Ready? And that is basically a low C. You see how I created a sound with having a tight embouchure? So that's what you want to think about when playing a clarinet. So there are various sounds when it comes to playing a clarinet. So right here I have a C as I just played. Right here I have a D. Right here I have a E. Right here I have a F. Right here I have a G. There's so many different notes, right? And there are many clarinet books that can help you with kind of beginners, helping you understand the different notes when it comes to playing a clarinet. So with that in mind, that's basically how different sounds and pitches are created with having a tight embouchure and knowing that your reed is also wet and putting your mouthpiece inside your mouth a little bit. And yeah, that's how different sounds and pitches are created through a clarinet. So in this final part of the video, I'm going to be playing a short passage of Amazing Grace to you on the clarinet. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on learning the basics and essentials of a clarinet.